My name is Tamara Chambers.
I'm Doug Walker, and why the hell are you wearing a wig?
Well, I just wanted to have amazing hair like they did in Lost Boys, which we're watching today. I actually brought you one.
You did. This doesn't work.
Okay, you're right.
You look like Donny Osmond.
This is Tamara's Never Seen, and today we are watching Lost Boys for the first time.
I should point out I also have not seen this. That probably goes without saying. Have you heard anything about this movie?
I just know they're vampires.
Yeah, that's all I know too. I know Joel Schumacher directed it, and it's supposed to be one of the good ones. Like, you know, he's done some bad films, he's done some okay films, he's done some good ones. This is supposed to be good, so I'm excited. I'm very curious.
I get comments all the time from people saying that I should watch this, so I'm glad that you haven't seen it either.
Yeah.
Will you snap with me?
Haha, I didn't do it! Ha 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 ha!
Damn it!
Wait till we go at the same time. Okay, do it. 1, 2. Ha ha!
You motherfucker. Michael.
That's the movie.
Literally, they say Michael 1,000 times.
And he goes, he's like an evil Elmer Fudd.
It feels like they needed some ADR and they didn't have time, so they just put that laugh
Over
in
and
there.
over and over.
It was so much fun.
I love this movie. This was a blast.
Yeah, it was out of this world, hilarious, weird as hell, so funny.
Yeah, this is like 80s cheese, but also like kind of dark and weird. And it's like 5 different things put together that normally don't go together, but because there's that 80s cheese, it like really, really works.
Yeah.
It's like part horror film, part comedy, part Monster Squad, part Interview with a Vampire.
And there's a lot of aspects to it that, like, if they didn't all come together like that, it just wouldn't work.
Yeah, like
For some reason.
Like, if I just read the script, I'd be like, bullshit, I'm not making this. But because it's just so strange and just so in its own weird world or weird couple of worlds, it's just super fun.
There were so many moments when something would happen and we would just be like,
what? What? It's like legit funny, it's legit kind of cool, legit dorky, but legit really interesting, legit well made, legit terribly made, but it all goes together. It's just all crazy and it's all a blast.
The costumes were amazing, the sets were amazing, and the characters were amazing. The grandpa, we go into spoilers, right? Yeah, oh, for
the lead vampire, the head vampire, that legit shocked me.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't believe I actually fell for that.
Such a good twist. Corey Feldman.
Doing his weird. Okay, he's a kid in this. Why is he trying to do a low voice the whole time? But it cracks me up every single time. Like, there's many different ways the vampire dies. Sometimes they implode or explode, but they'll always try to take you with them. It's like, I don't know what you're doing, but I adore it.
Yeah. I love where you're going with it.
Even like the scenes I thought like I wouldn't like when they're trying to prove that the one dude is the lead vampire, looks like he's not. Like, well, that didn't fit. That's like the one moment that doesn't work, but it does work. It all comes together at the end.
You're right.
It just makes that scene even funnier.
So, okay, it opens to this family moving to this boardwalk California town, and you see the vampires on a merry-go-round, because of course.
But thank God there's a cop on that merry-go-round, just waiting there in case somebody's trying to start trouble on this merry-go-round.
And then you see this hair metal band, this like rock band. Do you remember that?
Very Joel Schumacher. Just a guy just totally shirtless, built as hell, covered in something wet.
Yeah.
Just like
With
looking around the with like the long hair and stuff and just singing his song.
Just super into it. That was maybe my favorite part of the movie.
One of the scenes I liked is that when the cop is about to get attacked, it's actually really clever filmmaking where it's this aerial shot, it's looking down at him, and then it's him walking normal and stuff, and then he looks up at the aerial shot, he's like, ah! And he runs away. It's like, oh, that was the vampire's point of view. Like, you didn't know it. Like, it was actually legit kind of good filmmaking there.
It was, yeah. Yeah, that was really good. There were some really good shots, and then, like, we noticed some not really good shots.
Yeah, but again, it's in this movie, I give it a pass because it's so entertaining.
I believe it all.
Something Schumacher does a lot is he'll do like backward shots instead, like he'll play footage backwards, which I do too. Like I said, I can't complain, but there's one where it's like, you see them going into, like, the cave. It's, like, their point of view. And then later when they're leaving the cave, they just play it backwards, which is like, okay, again, time, money, I get it. But you see the water going backwards, and it's like, you could have cut before that. That's just lazy.
Waves. Which it's always fun to watch films with people who, like, make film. So I would have never noticed that, but it cracked me up when you pointed it out.
No, come here, we're watching. I'm just like, okay, that's the shot they did before, but playing it backwards. And then when we see the waves going backwards, I'm like, oh, come on!
You don't know this because you never watched Gilmore Girls.
No.
But the grandpa from Gilmore Girls is the head vampire in this film, which is hilarious to me. He was amazing, and like we said, when he becomes the head vampire and it's revealed, he still has his like delightful voice and like very cool, calm, and collected, and it's perfect.
He has the, like when they're like, you're the lead head vampire, he's like,
he's like, sure am.
It seemed like there were two movies constantly fighting for attention. One was kind of like an awkward moving in, just little kids getting used to town, and then just like this teenage angst vampire movie, and they were so different that of course they went together. Yeah. Every time it went back and forth, I'm always like, oh, I wonder what's going on with the vampire kid. It goes back to them. Oh, what's going on with the weird family? It goes back to them. So it like constantly, it's this perfect seesaw of oddness.
Yeah. So Corey Feldman is trying to teach the younger brother how to like kill vampires. Meanwhile, the older brother, Michael, is hanging out. He's hanging out with all like the vampires for a girl, which is not worth it. But anyways,
especially this girl. What was her name again?
Star.
No, you gotta say it like Star.
Star.
Like all her lines are like this.
Star.
Okay, just heads up. Anytime you watch a Schumacher movie, the romance is never between the boy and girl. It's always between either two boys, possibly more. And clearly this is between, like, Kiefer Sutherland and the other main boy. They had the real romance here.
They did, and I loved it. So the younger brother finds out that Michael is a vampire, and he's like way more annoyed than he is scared. You're a goddamn vampire?
I totally thought you were like a werewolf. Why couldn't you be a werewolf?
So disappointing.
Dork.
Oh, also, everyone gave Twilight so much crap when the film came out because the vampires were sparkly, but the vampires literally bleed glitter.
They bleed glitter in this film, yeah. And we're just like, oh, so that's where it started. And of course, if there's anyone that's gonna do vampire sparkling, it's gonna be Twilight and Joel Schumacher. Schumacher did a lot better though.
Yeah, agreed.
So the vampire rules are kind of weird in this. Like,
yeah.
First of all, I guess if you drink their blood, you become a vampire.
The lead vampire's blood.
The lead but he wasn't the lead vampire.
Oh, what the
That doesn't make any sense. There's a bunch of different ways vampires die. Why? I never heard that. But it's like, okay, one like falls into a bathtub filled with garlic and holy water that they just stole from a church, which is my favorite scene.
That was amazing.
And then he's like, okay, he's melting. He's turning into a skeleton. Okay, fair enough. But then like the sinks are exploding. Like the kitchen is dripping with blood and they're just all blowing. I'm like, this makes no goddamn sense, but I love it.
It was
I just
so
love
cool.
it.
It was all the plumbing in the house was just leaking blood.
They're like exploding. Like
Yeah.
kaboom, blood everywhere. It's like an Evil Dead movie.
Yes.
I didn't follow it, but I loved it.
It was cool as hell, yeah. And then also the second vampire death was amazing. The stereo and then his head explodes.
Yes, death by stereo.
And I also love, the mom is so sweet in this. What did
Dianne Wiest, she's from Edward Scissorhands, and she always plays this role, but she plays it so well, and she's so likable. For all these vampire movies where they're always, like, again, in Twilight, like, you're a vampire? No. Or Kiefer Sutherland, you're a vampire? No. I mean, that dude, I was legit surprised to find out he was a vampire.
Oh my god, the twist! Yes!
That's the way what she has in her notes.
Really?
Oh my god, the twist, yes.
Yes! Lots of exclamation points.
It's everything that doesn't normally quite go together, somehow going together perfectly.
Yeah.
And I was saying before, if you showed me this movie and you told me this dude's gonna direct like a Batman movie, I'd be like, go, this cannot lose.
Absolutely.
This will be amazing. This will be just like the Burton films, or, you know, this will be a ton of fun. It'll look great, and nope.
This is like straight up 80s to me. Like when I started this series, and you and Rob especially were like, oh man, the 80s films are just batshit crazy. This is what I imagined in my head. And some of them do live up to it, but this is just like, oh.
This is kind of the exact film I want to see. Like when I see Lost Boys and vampires, 80s, and crazy Joel Schumacher, except really working towards awesome good, you know, like
Yeah.
just it's the crazy awkward fun, but it's like really cool. I'm like, yeah,
Yes.
I was not disappointed in the least.
Yeah.
I love this movie.
Same here. Well, next we're watching Legend. So it'll be as fun, right?
I'm sure.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you guys next week. Bye.